Hi friends, my name is Jose Luis. This time I am going to show you how to make a blackboard for children, very useful in these times to support the children at home. Very easy to do, very practical. I will leave the measures in a featured comment. Let's do it. We begin to prepare the board for the blackboard. We place the rod on one end. We counted how many divisions we would have left and started marking. There would go the rods. We place them evenly. We mark them with the square. We grab a little nail that we are going to use. We cut off its head, and we begin to drill holes so that the nail does not come out to the side. There we put the nails, so that it is easier for us to nail once we put the vinyl glue. There we present it, and we begin to place adhesive on the tip, and we place it again, because it is easier to place it this way, standing, and we started nailing. On the other side we have the mark that we had made with the square, then we put full glue on the ends, and nail again. We present the plywood. It has to be square. We lower it and mark it with the pen to nail from above, so as not to miss the nail, and then we paint it well with vinyl glue. Well painted, we present it and start nailing on one side. We finish nailing and we see that it remains even, because we are going to be square because the plywood is square. This would be the board that would support the chalk and eraser. We put adhesive on that rod and we also nail it so that the chalk on the front does not fall off. Well, there we began to sand the sides of the blackboard a little so that it is no longer presented, and also to remove all the fluff, so that they don't hurt, and by the way we also take out the edge a little. Once we have sanded all four sides, that is to say the four songs, we also grab this rod, the small board that would be the support where the chalk and the eraser would go. We sand it well. We present it and put vinyl glue and nail it. Well, now I want to show you that I put quite a few supports on the back, these 6 supports, so that when writing the plywood does not sink. It is quite firm. We begin to mark the legs. There we mark them at 2 centimeters. We center them to make holes. With the punch we dot. We take a 7mm wick and we pierce it and we mark the upper part round so that they don't hurt us. Now I want to show you that the 1.50 rod on the side was a little crooked, so I left the part of the belly out, that when placing it on the board of the blackboard, we are going to affirm it with the other strip that would go down, and that longer leg of 1.60 would be in the middle. As you can see, it would look like this, the longest one located in the middle. We begin to place a washer between the middle of each leg, and we adjust them, we hit them a little to match, and that's it. There we mark 50 centimeters. We just put a temporary nail on it to hold the leg open. There we center the middle one and nail it. Then we are going to prepare the paint. The first thing we have to do every time we open a new can is stir it very well, that it dissolves well, and then I'll show you another secret that I have, that on the edge of the lip where the lid enters, I pierced it with a small nail so that the paint remains there. Fall back in. I dissolve it with turpentine. I mix it well. I prepare for 2 coats more or less. And I start to paint. I start to paint by the edges, all the edges, and then the part of the board. I put a coat of chalkboard paint on it. I let it dry for about a day, and if necessary, a little more, and I sand it with 180 or 220 sandpaper softly, and I go over it with another coat, and there would be the perfect blackboard. Well, as you will see the holes I made in the rim of the can, they will cause the paint to fall back into the paint can. I hadn't covered up in case I needed a little more paint, but it wasn't necessary, and then I saved the paint for the next day. Another important fact, this painting that we have left over, you don't have to put it in the paint can either because it has turpentine in it, and it would be spoiled. That jar that was left with the prepared paint, we left it covered to use it the next day for the second pass. And the can well covered to occupy it in another opportunity. As you can see, the blackboard is already painted and we are going to put the leg on it. I leave 3 centimeters on the tip. I center it and start putting in the 52mm long screws. Keep in mind that I turn it over to place the bottom rod on the other side, and I marked it at 10 centimeters. Center them. I mark it to put the little nail. I put glue and nail it. I take out the temporary rod that we had put in. There we mark it centered on the middle leg to make holes. To place the chain, we pierce it with a 7mm bit, which is the approximate thickness of the chain, a depth of 1.5 to 2 centimeters. We marked it to place a screw that goes through the chain link, and there we have it. On the other side we do the same. We make holes with the 7mm bit to place the screw that goes through. We place the chain and cross it in the link with the screw. Good friends, the blackboard for children is ready. Very easy to do. Any questions you have, comment, I will be answering. Share with your friends and see you in the next video. Bye bye.